So today we're going to be making one of our favorite desserts, a molten chocolate souffle paired with a vanilla creme anglaise and some fresh strawberries.
Souffles have the reputation of being the divas of all desserts. They have you tiptoeing around the kitchen. They're so temperamental, but they're totally worth it.
You know, even in the professional arena, it takes a chef with a real set of balls to pull out a souffle in a restaurant. So to begin the creme anglaise, the first thing we need to do is get these vanilla beans chopped up. A lot of people tend to split them open and scrape the seeds out, which can also be done, but for this recipe it's alright if we can just chop them through because we're going to be straining it later. So here we have the vanilla beans, which we're just going to, a little hard, but you can take your time and chop them as small as possible to extract as much as flavor as possible. So now that we've got our vanilla beans all chopped up, we can start with the creme anglaise. All we need is about 250 ml of cream. To that we add 125 ml of milk, 50 grams of caster sugar and 112 grams of egg yolks. The yolks help to thicken the anglaise and make the base of the custard. To this now we shall add a chopped up vanilla bean. So now that we've got our custard on the range, all we have to do is whisk in the yolks. Yeah. So you've got to whisk in these yolks and keep whisking on a medium to low heat until this starts thickening. Ideally people would do it on a pot of simmering water, you know, but this is alright as long as you can control the temperature. Ideally we want to take this up to about 82 degrees. Okay, so now as you can see, the custard is thickened and the whisk is leaving lines while we're whisking it. So that's a sign to say that your creme anglaise is getting done. To be more sure, you just dip a spoon into your anglaise and rub a line through. And you can see the lines don't merge, and that shows you you've reached the right consistency. So now we've taken this off the flame. We put this through a sieve to get all our vanilla out. And there we have this beautiful silky vanilla creme anglaise.
So I'm now going to move on to our dark chocolate divas, and the first thing you need to do is butter and sugar your molds because that's essential. That's what's going to prevent the souffle from sticking and help it rise evenly. Make sure your butter is really soft. Give it strokes going upwards and make sure you cover all spots and don't leave anything bare. Get the base covered with butter. Just dip in the sugar and give it a gentle twist around so that you're covering all the sides evenly. You can simply tip it over into the next bowl and rotate it the same way again. So we got our molds ready now and we can move on to the next step. For my souffle base, I have here equal quantities of flour and butter. It's soft butter and 35 grams each. I'm just going to mix it together till it gets all pasty. Once you've got it all smooth and combined together, we're going to add this to our simmering milk. We take 180 ml of milk, add about 75 grams of sugar to it and bring it to a simmer. Once your milk is simmering, turn down the heat and add the paste of butter and flour. We're going to mix it through till it's absolutely smooth. You could use a whisk for it. Make sure you don't have any lumps. Continuously give it a whisk. Now we're going to cook it down till it thickens. We're basically trying to cook out the raw flour. You see, it's all starting to come together. We add our chocolate to this mix. I'm using a dark chocolate which has about 75% cocoa content because I love dark chocolate, but you're free to use milk chocolate or any chocolate that you like. We finally add our yolks to complete the base. You'll see it turns into a smooth, shiny mass once you add the egg yolks to it.
So now that our souffle base is ready here, we're going to whip some egg whites with some sugar. Right? And this is going to lighten this entire mixture and help it rise in the oven. To do so, you can do it with a hand blender. If you don't have a hand blender, you could use a whisk. Yeah. So we start. To this, once it starts frothing, we add just a tiny bit of lemon juice. This helps to strengthen the meringue and it helps you from over whisking it. You could tilt the bowl and now gradually increase the speed. Now that our egg whites are frothy, we have here about 112 grams of egg white, to which we are adding about 22 grams of sugar. Now we'll add the sugar in 2 installments. See, we add the first installment now, about half of it. And we go around and make sure the sugar is incorporated. And now we could add the remaining sugar. As and when we've added the sugar, you can see the whole mixture's got a nice shine to it, and that's what we're looking for. So we've whipped our meringue or our egg whites to a stiff peak, so when we pick it up, the peak stays on top. And that's the level we have to whip our meringue to for the souffle.
Okay, now we have a base that's completely cooled down and we have our egg whites that are whipped. We need to combine the two together. I'm going to add 1/3 of the egg white mixture into our base. And at this stage, you don't have to be extremely gentle or anything. You just need to get it mixed through. It's not tricky, it's not tedious. Just get it into a smooth emulsion. Don't worry about deflating or anything at this point. Just give it a good mix. So the egg whites and the base mixture are one mass. We can now add the remaining egg whites. It's great to have these little spatulas in your kitchen. Get all your bowls clean, not wasting anything. Now is when you need to be gentle. So make sure you cut and you fold. this is where we have to be careful so that we don't deflate that air, because at the end of the day, we want a fluffy, tall souffle with a nice molten soft center. Don't be in a hurry, take your time. I'm just going to scrape down the sides so that I make sure I'm getting it all together. So now you know it's mixed through. We stop at this point, you don't want the mixture to deflate, and we have to get them in our molds.
So now we've got our souffle ready. Oh my god, it looks so good.
That it does.
So now I'm going to fill them up and then you can probably scrape it up.
Sure.
So you use a spoon and you go right to the bottom. You want to make sure there are no air gaps in between so that your souffle rises well. Yeah. And we fill the ramekins right to the rim.
So basically what I'm trying to do is I want to flatten the tops completely, and also if there are any air bubbles, it will get flattened out with the palette knife. So with the palette knife, just press it down a little, swaying it back and front so that you deflate any air bubbles, and then just scrape it off. So all the excess is gone and we've got a smooth flat top.
It is quite simple really. It's not very complicated. You just have to get the basics right, and if you follow the procedure, I think there's nothing more satisfying than a warm souffle.
I know, it's ideal when it comes to a comfort dessert. It's light, airy, it's molten in the center, and it's dark chocolate.
And it's rich.
So once we have our ramekins filled and clean, I'm just going to run my finger around the rim to form a little ridge. What this is going to do is prevent the souffle from overflowing, and also it gives it an even straight rise.
So now that we've got everything prepared, it's time to bake. We would bake these souffles at 190 degrees Celsius for about 12 to 14 minutes. Now you want to put the souffle in the middle of your oven so it's got enough positioning around. And in the meantime, you can work on your garnishes for your plating. Oh my good lord, take a look at those. Perfectly risen souffles.
Let's dress these babies.
So today we're pairing them with some fresh strawberries, and we have a little crumble. You don't need much actually, just this souffle is so tempting. Oh wow. And now to serve at the table, you could just make a small insertion into it, put it open, get all that steamy goodness out, and pour some of this yummy creme anglaise that we made earlier.
I don't think I can ever get both the souffle.
I don't think you need to. You want to try some?
Yeah,
Good?
good job, Jan.
Oh yeah.